I deleted both my children's numbers from my phone. I was 83 years old. My hands were shaking, and it was the best decision I ever made. I know what you're thinking. What kind of father does something like that? I'll tell you what kind. The kind who for 2 years kept calling, kept texting, kept leaving voicemails, like a man knocking on a door that was never going to open. The kind who one morning looks in the mirror and doesn't recognize the man staring back. That's how it happens. Slowly, quietly. One day you wake up and realize you've traded your dignity for a message that says, "Happy birthday, Dad." That's all I got, a short message sent in the final hours of my birthday from the 2 sons I gave everything to. Do you know what that feels like? It's not being forgotten. It's worse than that. It's being reduced. And I let it happen. For 2 years. Then one morning, I picked up my phone, opened my contacts, and did something I never thought a father could do. I'll tell you what it was. But first, you need to understand something. My oldest son, Michael, is 54. He lives 38 minutes from my house. I know that because I used to drive there without thinking, to pick up the grandkids from school, to fix the furnace in January, to show up with my toolbox before he even asked. Because I'm a father. At least, that's what I thought. My youngest, Daniel, is 51. He's the softer one, always has been. He used to call every Sunday, like clockwork. Ray Charles could have set his watch by that boy's timing. Used to. Now listen carefully. I know why you're watching this. You're sitting in a quiet house right now, maybe watching on your TV, maybe on a tablet, maybe on that phone, the one that hasn't rung in days, maybe months. And every morning you wake up and think, today might be the day. Maybe today they'll call. Let me ask you something. How long have you been telling yourself that? Because I told myself that for 2 years. 2 years of voicemails. 2 years of messages. Thinking of you, son. Call me when you can. And sometimes they did call. Short calls. Careful calls. The kind where you can feel you're taking up their time. You know exactly what I mean. And what did I do? I tried harder. Called more. Texted more. Pushed more. That's what we do when something starts slipping away. We grab tighter. It feels like love, but it isn't. I worked in a machine shop for 38 years. I know what a worn-out part sounds like when you force it to work. That squeak, that resistance. You can feel it fighting back, and you keep pushing anyway. A smart man stops. A smart man sets the tool down and figures out what's broken before he does more damage. I wasn't a smart man. Then one evening I called Michael. He didn't answer. I left a voicemail, but my phone was old. The buttons were close together. I must have pressed something by mistake, because 20 minutes later, it played the voicemail back to me. I sat there and listened to myself. 4 minutes. I want you to imagine that. I thought I sounded fine when I recorded it. Calm, steady. But when I heard it back, under every word, there was this quiet hum. It wasn't anger. It wasn't even sadness. It was desperation. Desperation wearing a smile. A man knocking so gently, so patiently, he doesn't even realize he's been standing at that door for 2 years. When you hear your own helplessness play back to you, something changes. I wasn't calling to give them something. I was calling to get something. Reassurance. Proof I still mattered. Proof I was still loved. I was using my sons to fill a hole in my chest that had nothing to do with them. Do you understand that? I didn't become a burden because I was sick or because I needed help. I became a burden because I stopped being a person and became a need. And here's the part nobody wants to say. Children don't pull away from you. They pull away from pressure, the pressure we don't even realize we're putting on them. That's hard to hear, I know, but if you're honest with yourself, really honest, you can feel it too, that tension every time you pick up the phone. That night, I went into my garage. I've had some of those tools since the 1970s. Everything in its place, everything with a purpose. And I stood there thinking, when was the last time I felt like this? Like a man with purpose. Not a father waiting by the window. Not someone hoping to be managed. Just a man. I couldn't remember. That's what hit me. The next morning, I picked up my phone. I looked at Michael's name. I deleted it. Then Daniel's. I deleted that too. My hands were shaking. They're my boys. But let me be honest with you. It wasn't some dramatic movie moment. It was just an old man standing alone in his kitchen, making a decision that felt like it might break him. I didn't delete their numbers because I gave up on them. I deleted them because I had to stop taking the easy way out. I needed a wall between my loneliness and their phone numbers. You can't force someone to come back by loving them harder. You can only become someone worth coming back to. And the choice is theirs. That difference changes everything. The first few days felt strange. My hand kept reaching for the phone out of habit, like reaching for something that wasn't there anymore. On the fourth day, I called an old coworker, Pete. We worked together 16 years. After retirement, life just pulled us apart. I hadn't spoken to him in 6 years. He answered on the second ring. We talked for 2 hours. Nothing important, and everything important. He told me he'd been trying to fix up an old pickup truck in his garage. Couldn't get the carburetor right. I told him I'd come take a look. That Saturday, I spent 4 hours under the hood. I was a little dizzy. I'm not young anymore, but I felt alive. For the first time since retiring, I came home with grease under my fingernails. That night, I slept deeply. The first real sleep I'd had in 2 years. Now I know what you're thinking. That's nice, Ray, but my situation is different. Maybe it is, but answer me this. When was the last time you did something that had nothing to do with waiting? Because that's the real question. Not why they aren't calling, but what are you doing in the meantime? Waiting or building something? Twice a week now, I volunteer at a vocational school. I teach young kids how to use tools the right way. Real hands-on work. The kind where at the end of the day you can point to something and say, I made that. I'm not a signal waiting to be picked up anymore. I'm a source. 5 weeks after I deleted those numbers, Daniel called. Different number. He was at work. Dad, I've been trying to reach you. I know, son. You sound different. Are you okay? I'm good, Dan. I'm busy. If you want to see me, come by. He came that Sunday, brought the grandkids. I showed my grandson how to use a level. He's 9, focused like you wouldn't believe. It took Michael a little longer, but he came too. We didn't talk about the silence. We didn't need to. Now listen carefully. I'm not promising your children will come back. Some won't. Some people choose distance and they mean it. And if that's your reality, I'm truly sorry. That pain is real. But I will tell you this. You don't fix a stalled engine by pushing it harder. It needs space. It needs care. Sometimes it needs you to stop forcing it.